Welcome to another episode of Not Minding My Own Business. My name's Russell Farbiars, and I am pleased to be joined today by Sandy Wagner. Sandy, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sandy, can you tell our listeners a little bit about you and the business that you run here in Berks County?
Well, I own Sensory Concepts Orthopedic and Medical Massage. Orthopedic massage is all about structural balance. So people come to me when they have chronic conditions and pathologies that have their quality of life. So I've been trained to get at the source of a problem and work the muscles that are causing our condition rather than working the symptom. So if I'm able to get to the source of the problem and release the muscles, I can give them home care to maintain that, and they get their mobility back, their range of motion, get their life back again.
Nice. And where is your business located?
At 5 Bristol Court in Wyomissing. We're actually along State Hill Road, but don't have it from State Hill Road. They have to go around the block and come in the rear.
Yep. I live sort of on the other side of where that is. So in Wyomissing Hills. So I know exactly where you're at. So that's a nice location to be at with access to State Hill Road. How long have you been in business?
15 years.
Wonderful. So what originally got you started in your line of work?
I was doing home care with Berks Visiting Nurses, and they were giving me hospice work, which was great. And I was very good at it. And the families depend on you very heavily for that support system. I didn't feel like I was helping anybody. It's hard to go from house to house when it's all sadness and you're not really helping anyone get any better, that every single someone is actively dying. So it's really, really hard to do that every single day and not go home feeling, undefeated. So you want to go home feeling like you've actually done something for somebody, and that wasn't the case. So I needed to go in another direction.
That makes sense. I mean, in that situation, you are doing something for them and helping them transition peacefully, but it can be very hard to be in that room, I'm sure, day in and day out.
With you every day. So even though in your heart you're helping people, it's not fulfilling the way you need to be fulfilled and having that life balance that everybody talks about.
Right. Now, what is your background or training in?
I went to BTI for basic massage school, and when I was right in the middle of my externship, when we were getting ready to go out on externship, my advisor wanted to know what we wanted to do, where we wanted to go. And I wasn't sure. And I said, I just know what I don't want to do. So she said, well, let's start with that. The next, one of the receptionists came in looking for her. She could not raise her arm up. So she was so restricted within her rotator cuff muscles that she couldn't raise her arm. And she was looking for my friend now. She's a very good friend of mine. Rose was one of my instructors. And when Rose came in, we explained to her this woman was looking for her. She had her come in and just did a little bit of an assessment, a little bit of how to do some active movements. She did some passive movements, did a little tweaking here and there. And within about 7 minutes, the woman could raise her arm up.
Wow.
And it wasn't anything that was going to, last. It just was kind of a quick fix to get her comfortable and moving so that she could keep functioning until she could get on the table and actually get worked on. So when the woman left, I just looked at Rose and said, I don't know what that was, but that's what I want to do for people. So break that night, came back from break, sat down at we used our massage tables as desks, and she slapped some papers down in front of me and said, if that's what you want to learn, this is who you want to study under. So she gave me information for James Wozlowski, who's out of Texas. He's one of the pioneers of our industry. And I've been studying orthopedic massage ever since under him. And I've also studied under some of his friends. He has a very wonderful network of massage therapists, all that are top of our field, and they collaborate with each other and constantly following the nationally renowned research and everything that's new and cutting edge out there. So good people to learn from. So if I'm going to take classes, I want it to be something that is taking my practice to another level and not just going for those CE units to get my relicensure.
Right. So when you talk about orthopedic massage, so that's different than if someone just wants, a regular, massage for sort of more recreational purposes, right?
It's not your mind-numbing fluff massage where you're just, relaxing and melting into the fabric, but it needs to be free. So, sometimes people will go for deep tissue massage, which is a very old school, and that can be detrimental to your body because they're pushing through the outer layers to get to the deep muscles. Orthopedic massage, you're trained to work superficial to deep. So if the outer layers of fascia and muscle are not responding, I'm not going after the next layer of tissue. You have to just keep working as the body responds.
Okay. And now, and this question may just show how little I know about orthopedic massage, but how does it differ from chiropractic?
Chiropractic, they are trained to manipulate the vertebrae in your spinal column.
Okay.
Orthopedic, I'm trained to work the soft tissue. So muscles are pulling the vertebrae out of alignment and I release the erectors, it allows the vertebrae to go back into alignment. If I then check, the spinal column and go up the lamina groove and their vertebrae are still throwing me out, then I have to refer them out to a chiropractor. Same sense, if a chiropractor continues to do adjustments on someone and they're not holding their adjustments, it generally means the muscles are so tight that they're not allowing them to hold the adjustments once the chiropractor makes that adjustment. So a lot of times chiropractic and massage have to go hand in hand.
Okay, so you work on the muscles, the chiropractor works on the bones. So a lot of times it's helpful to work with other practitioners. Do you have relationships with other practitioners that you work with?
I do. I have several spinal orthopedic doctors that send me referrals. There are a few chiropractors. One in particular sends quite a few referrals to me. There are some physical therapists. And then a lot of it is just people that I'd help. They send their friends, their family, everybody knows somebody who's in pain and is struggling and they want to see them, get better.
Yeah. What is something that more people should be aware of about what you do?
I think some people still are under the illusion that it's a luxury. People go to get massage just relaxation and to decompress. And orthopedic massage, it's all about structural balance. So the people that come to me, they have a pathology that there's no cure for, and we try to keep the muscles firing and keep them functioning, or it's something that's a repetitive use injury, something that they've done over time as a result of what their job was for several, maybe some sort of a hobby that they're passionate about. So, if somebody plays on a softball team, well into their 30s and they're a pitcher, they're going to have issues with their cuff muscles. And somebody who horseback riding all the time, everybody does something that they're using the same muscles repetitively and not stretching them out, and you start to have those imbalances. So the proprioceptors in your body will remember the short, tight position because you're not counteracting the action by engaging the opposing muscle.
So when a patient works with you, I would imagine it's not just they come in once and you fix them and then they go on their way. I mean, how long is treatment usually, and what does that look like?
It depends on the person, how well they respond to the treatment. It depends on how long they've had that condition, and also if they're going to bother to do the home care. And the first time I have them right in our we can make all the progress you want in the therapy room, but if you're not maintaining it when you leave, you're wasting your time and your money. So they know that I can't fix them. I can facilitate. I can tell them what's going on in their body. I can work the muscles, but they have to maintain it after they leave. They have to take responsibility for their own health.
It's a partnership. You can't do everything for them. They have to be willing to do their part as well.
For me, already of the mindset that they want to get better when they walk.
Right. What is what type of home care is it? Is it just stretching exercises, or is it something more than that?
It would be giving them to do to maintain the muscles that I've released on the table. So for forearm flexor stretches, for plantar fascia, these stretches for your calf muscles.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we learn a little bit about you? What do you like to do when you're not working?
I like kayaking. I love hiking and horseback. A lot of time for that, but I'm learning more time myself, take more little long weekends. And when I take time off, I'm outside. So I'm usually dragging him mountain somewhere that he doesn't want to hike as far as I do. But I've learned to motivate. I don't want to say manipulate. I've learned to motivate him to finish whatever we set out to do. So
what's your favorite hiking spot in the area?
In the area? Oh my goodness. I ended up above Fort Clinton, maybe to the fire tower. But we usually go up to the Poconos. If it's going to be somewhere local, we head up to the Poconos.
Okay. And have you been, what's the best hiking place you've been anywhere in the world?
Oh my goodness. The best hike would be, it's kind of a toss up. Pilot Knob was really nice up by Lake George Park, but my favorite was Hanging Lake. It's in the northwestern part of Colorado. And I saw that online and I knew that I wanted to do that. So when we did a road trip to Colorado about 5 years ago, that was top on my list. And I had to try it. Definitely. I had to keep it going. But it's worth the top and it's so beautiful. It's worth
it. I think one of the nicest hikes I ever went on was a sunrise hike in Israel. It was up a mountain called Masada, and you had to get up at 3:30 in the morning because you had to be at the top of the mountain before the sun rose. But it was beautiful.
I'm doing that by myself. There's no way I get him to do that.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful spot. It's not a long hike. But it's a rigorous hike because it's literally up the side of a mountain.
That's what I like. I like when you're climbing over rocks and boulders and yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. So I guess you're when you go on vacation, it's really where's the nicest hiking spot, I would imagine. Is that what you're looking for a vacation?
Sometimes it's looking for, the ride. The kayak doesn't like the kayaking. So I try to do that around here with my friends, with my girlfriend.
Where do you go? Where do you like to go kayaking?
Well, my friends and I usually put in at Blue Marsh Lake. We'll hook a right and then go up the Tully. So it's really nice going up the stream because you see critters back there that you don't see out in the. That's a lot of, and it's a little bit more. It's more serene. You don't have all those other boats around, just us. That's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, that can be nice. Just being you in nature, and being able to sort of recenter.
Yeah, just had a rain. It sometimes it can get to be a little challenging too. When you're going against the current, that's a lot of fun.
Have you ever done any whitewater rafting?
I've done whitewater rafting many years ago with my daughters. That's a whole nother story.
All right. Well, now, are you originally from the Berks County area?
Born and raised, yes.
Born and raised. So what's your fondest memory of this area?
Gosh, I don't even know. I'm up in here, too many to choose.
Sure. Now, we talked about your work. How do you contribute back to the community?
I try to do that as much as I can with people that I network. Everybody has so many charities that they're involved with. So I try to piggyback on a lot of those things. Committee for the Friends of the Reading Police Canines. Plug out for them. We have our golf tournament coming up on August 27th. So anybody wanting to learn more about that, they can get on the website, or even get on my website, and we can, anybody wants to put a foursome out or even donate any kind of a raffle. I also give back to Safe Berks a lot. They help me, and I will give back to them as long as I can. Very, very good operation.
Absolutely.
Started working with friends out in Kutztown. They have, it's for the food bank there and the homeless. Jim Reese took over last year, fundraisers, and I did the massages for the cyclists that when they're done competing, then they would get on my table. And it was for tips, but everything I took in, I gave friends, and I'm doing that again this year. And that's it. So
wonderful. All right.
I think when you ask a question, things don't come to mind until after you're done with the conversation. But
I know. We'll finish our conversation, and you'll think I should have said this thing, that thing, or the other thing. But that's just typical. So if someone wants to work with you, what is the best way to do that?
They just have to pick up the phone and call. They can check us out on our website. It's sensoryconcepts.net, 484-509-5505. If they want to have a conversation with me before even booking, sometimes people want to just ask a lot of questions, what to do. And sometimes if I talk to them, ask them, try to do a conversation on the phone, I can kind of get a feel of what muscles are giving them trouble. And I just, by them telling me what they're restricted, I know what questions to ask and can give them an idea of what I can do for them.
Wonderful. Anything else you'd like to share with our listeners?
Don't really think so.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Sandy, for taking the time to be on our show. This has been another episode of Not Minding My Own Business, and thank you again.
Very nice to meet you.
You too.